Hello everyone. So in the last video we were creating this cocktail ring and we got up to this point here. Okay, if I bring back my stones we'll see what's going on. Okay, so what we'll finish off in this video. We're going to finish off by creating the sweeps of the outer prongs to our undercarriage in the center there. Okay, and then we're going to create our shank and that'll be it. Okay, so let me blank out those stones again. It was helpful to have them out of view. And let me blank out, well, I'll keep that shape for now. We'll see how the sweeps go. So I'm going to do a sweep, shape, sweep, okay, of this edge along this curve as a base, no end caps, okay, so that means we're not creating surfaces in here. We want to create a single shape, no surface in there. Now, one thing, I'm going to add a transform, a scale. I want to scale it linear, make it a bit smaller at the end, 0.75 will be fine. Okay, so we've got that taper on there, confirm. Okay, middle click, gain, profile, curve, base, no end caps, linear sweep. Now, on here you see the blue dotted line, this signifies that this is an open edge. So here we have two separate shapes, they're not connected. We can try doing a boolean add to the top half of the prong in this sweep, and that should create a single shape there. So let's added these shapes together. You see we have two separate shapes. If you want to add these shapes together, we have to do heel, sew the two shapes together, and you see they're a single shape now. Okay, or we could have just redefined the sweep with the combine add in there, the boolean add. Okay, so the final one, sweep this edge along here. Oh, now it looks like I didn't add in that 0.75, or it didn't lock itself in there, the scale. So I'm going to boolean add this one, and then I need to redefine that surface sweep. Okay, so we want the 0.75, confirm. Okay, so we're good. Now, the last thing I need to do is close up these end gaps. I'm also going to offset them and trim them to this undercarriage. Blank. So let's fill those gaps first. Heel, fill gap, left click on the edge, middle click. Okay, that would have created a closed shape now. Let's do a face offset. Probably 0.25 is fine. This one, this one, this one. Well, let's just make sure 0.5. Confirm. Unblank the undercarriage. And then we're going to trim to it. Before we do that, let's just add some fillets on this to make it look a bit better. Do the loop fillet, 0.2. Okay. And now we're going to trim these three prongs to the entire shape. Keep the trimming shapes and cap the trimmed region. Okay, so now they're trimmed out. That's nice. Okay, so we have that. These are now ready to be mirrored to the other sides. So let's go ahead and get those mirrors in. We're going to come back with our stones so we can see what's going on. Okay, so mirror. We're going to mirror these three prongs and the inner prongs as well. Okay, we're going to mirror also this inner prong, but not this outer prong because we haven't performed our operations on it yet. I'm going to mirror them first across this datum plane, and then we're going to mirror all of them. Not that one. Across. Now I forgot to pick the under bezels, so I'll redefine these across the side datum plane. Okay, I didn't pick that one, so let's redefine some of these mirrors. Okay, so I want to pick these under bezels as well, just those ones. Oh, that's annoying. Let me try and redefine last. Let's hope it doesn't require, it does require regeneration. Oh well. Okay, so now we're going to pick some more. Oh no, that is fine. So we're going to pick all of these bezels, under bezels, except that top one. And that looks good. Let's confirm. Oop, I guess I did need to mirror that one in the previous, so I'm making a bit of a hash of things here. Let's do this final tweak. Okay, we're going to edit the mirror. We do need to pick this under bezel. Edit the next mirror. And we do need to pick this one. Okay, so that appears to be fine, as far as I can see. Okay, so we'll mirror the stones later. We'll do the stones later. So next up, we're going to work on the shank. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to create a nice blend from this prong. Again, it'll be the same on this side. We're just going to mirror it from this prong into the shank. Okay, and I also want the shank to have another wire coming in to that curve that we have in here. So I'll be using a similar method to how I created these. I'll use the blend and then sweep or loft along that blend curve. So the first thing I want to do is come in with a sketch. Okay, in this sketch will be some circles that will be that will have some lines coming off that I can then sweep a blend curve, sweep along a blend curve. Okay, it will make sense when we get started. Now, let's first of all move this datum plane around. I'm going to show, first of all, my JCD template. Okay, I just want to move it down a bit, and I know that this has got a parameter linked up to it in my ring sketch. So let's move this. I'm just going to move it down a bit. We want to start our sweeps from further around. Let's just go for a 30 degree and confirm there. Then we'll come in with a sketch, and let's think we're going to have two circles in this sketch, and that will have mirror symmetry. So I'm going to insert a sketch on this datum plane, use centroid defined by plane. Okay, I'll show target, and let's have 1.25 millimeter diameter circles. Diameter 1.25. I'm just going to place them here, and we're going to link them up to somewhere in just a moment. So I want to make sure that I have dead-on orientation. So first of all, let's set some lines to control the position of these circles. They're offset in the X and Y. And we'll make these construction geometry. In fact, I probably didn't even need to create the lines. I could have just done the dimensions to the centers there. Why don't we try that? In fact, if I right click, dimension from this point to the center there, yes, this is a better way to do it, cleaner. We have a horizontal dimension, vertical dimension, and then for this one, horizontal and vertical. Okay, so I want them both to be sat on the ring finger, which would require this vertical offset to be equal to 1.25 over 2 the radius, so they're sat on that ring finger there. Now, the way we're going to make these merge in the shank is we want all of these different, we're going to have 4 in total because we're going to mirror these to the opposite side, but we'll do that after we've got these sweeps in place. We want these shapes to merge together into one single shape. Okay, the 4 prongs, the 4 rods, whatever you want to call them, we want them to merge into one shape. Now we need to encourage that merge by blending our shapes together at the point that they meet. Okay, so basically what that means is I need to have an overlap of these circles, not that much, but we want an overlap. 1.5 might be pushing it. Well, maybe not, we'll go for 1.5. Yeah, and I'm also going to need an overlap from this one to the mirrored one on the opposite side, so I'm going to decrease this until it's crossing that point, crossing our center line there. Okay, and that's actually moved that out a bit, that looks fine. Okay, so we'll leave it there and we'll see these this in action, and it should make more sense there. So first of all, I just want to project the sketch to the datum plane to turn it into 3-dimensional curves. Okay, it's interesting, we've lost something there. Let's redefine the wire. Bidirectional. Let's not trim. Not sure why that's happening. Kind of interesting there. Let's just come in with a circle 3-point on this curve to build it up again and then erase the original curve. Looks like it was in 2 halves as well. Don't know why that happened. I'm sure there's a reason behind it, but let's not dwell on that now. We'll just move forward. We have 2 curves there now. 1, 2. Okay, so we have our circles. We need to create a line now. Okay, coming off of a line that we can blend into. Okay, for both of these, and we do that by creating the line. So we're going to create a line from the center of here. First of all, I'm going to have to create a plane because I need to get the normal. Well, I've got this one, so that's fine. So I'm going to come in with a line, 2-point line. The first point is that going to be the middle, or no, the center of curvature of this circle. The second point needs to be normal to this plane that the circle's on. To do that, I'm going to right click, offset distance. The reference point is right click, center of curvature. The direction, okay, you can see it's really snapping to that normal direction, and then any distance because we're blending into it. And then I'm going to do a copy, point to point copy this time of the curve from this point to right click, center of curvature, this point. So we have 2 lines to blend into, and we have our lines up here already that we're are going to be the endpoints of the blend. So let's do it. We're going to blend from this curve to the inside wall. We can play with the weights, but I'm going to keep the default. And then if I blank out the shape, we're going to blend from this 2-point line into this 2-point line. Okay, and we might want to play with the weights there, but again, I'm okay with that. Let's confirm. And we'll bring back that shape. Okay, so now we can do, for this one, a loft shape, sweep of this circle along this curve with, we don't need an add, we'll do a closed. We'll add in the scale. Maybe 0.6 or something. Go for 0.5. Try and match it to these ones. 0.55. Okay, we're not intersecting the ring finger, it looks good. Okay, I'm going to confirm. Let's blank the shape. We need to do the fill gap up here. Heel, fill gap, shape, face offset. We're doing the trim again. Blank, unblank all. Trim this shape to this shape. Yep, that's fine. Confirm. Okay, so that's one done. We're not adding an end cap on here yet, and I'll show you why. We're basically leaving it open so we can get a curve list on there. Now this one, this can't be a sweep. We have two profiles, start and end profile. We're going to have to do a drive curve loft. From, we have the driving curve is our blending curve. Our from profile is this edge, and our to profile is this curve. Now, we see an issue here. Okay, the issue is that our starting and end points of these circles are not in line with each other. We need the start and end point to be at the top here. Now, we could correct this by coming into, or undoing this and moving, rotating this circle about its own axis, and that will move the start point. Or we could split this at a point up here. We could split this curve at the point at the top, and that will force the start point to be up there. Alternatively, we could come in with a connection line. Okay, you can see the connection lines from this top point to that point, the two start points, and we can modify it to be up at that point there. And that corrects it. Okay, let me just go over the other option, or one of the other options. Okay, we could simply move it, rotate it about its own axis, and move the start point up to the top there. Or we can force a new start point by splitting, trim split at point, the curve, and we want to split it at the top. Pick the point, and we don't pick any segments, just one point, confirm, and now it's hard to see, well, we can't see really, but that start point is now at the top. If you want to check where a start point is, come in with a point, place the point with an inputting option, right click along this curve, 0%, you can see that that's where the start point is. Okay, we moved it by doing the split. So now we can do a shape, drive curve loft from that edge, and you see we moved the start point. Okay, so there's different ways there to correct that issue. No end caps, and let's sew it to this prong. Confirm. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Now this is what I mean by getting that overlap. We're forcing them to start blending into one another. Okay, now what I want to do is trim out the insides of these shapes. Okay, I want them not to have these overlapping material on the inside. So let's try and do a combine add. And this should hopefully remove that interior material, like so. It's quite a nice result there. Okay, let's now mirror this shape to the opposite side across the front datum plane and combine add again to get rid of that surface in there. Okay, so that's quite nice. Now you see we're getting this single outline, which is what we wanted with forcing an overlap. So now we can sweep or loft this outline into a profile down here. Let's save it. Okay, so let's come in now with a ring shank sketch, and let's go for this option, half round straight sides. We're going to place one on the bottom and on this datum plane. And I might rotate this a bit about the axis there. Confirm. Let me first of all show the dimensions. Might have to do it twice to bring them up. Let's reduce this dimension to bring this sketch around. Okay, let's decrease it, maybe 25. Okay, it's going to regenerate. Okay, we'll play around with some of the parameters there, the dimensions of these sketches now. Let's decrease most of these. Let's make a 2.25 width at the bottom. Let's delay the solve so it regenerates only once when we tell it to. Let's make the thickness 1.75. That's fine, 1.5. Thickness here, or width here, sorry. Let's go 3.25. The thickness, we'll go for a 1.75 as well. Take the delay solve off, and it's going to update them all with a regenerate of the history. Okay, this would be a good point to use our feature frozen bar. Okay, that freezes early parts of the history so that the regeneration won't take quite so long. But it's still not too bad. So let's save it. And I'm going to mirror, so I'm going to do this shank in two sections. I'm going to mirror this sketch to the opposite side. I'm going to hide my template. I'm going to come in with an arc. Let's give it a color. Let's go for green. An arc between these three sketches. Okay, my first point was wrong. Let's repick that. Okay, we have an arc between those three. So we're going to do a drive curve loft between these. Okay, for this portion, I'm going to do a loft from this shank into the outline here, and the outline I'm going to create with a curve list. Okay, let me just erase these curves now. I'm just going to window pick, get rid of anything left over. Okay, so let's insert a curve list, and we're going to create a curve list of all of these edges, this entire outline. Confirm. Okay, so that blue is a curve list. And we're going to do a simple loft, shape, loft from the curve list into the sketch. Okay, now we're going to have some obvious discrepancies here because these edges, the number of edges, vertices, they don't match this profile, so it's not going to be perfect. We're going to have to play around with our connection lines a bit. So let's do that. Before I forget, I want to keep the profiles so I can use this sketch for this drive curve loft. Well, perhaps I won't. I'll create a perhaps I'll create a curve list there so I can get the tangencies. Okay, so yes, the connection lines. We need to create connection lines to sort out this shape. So let's add in some connection lines. At the main sort of points, let's go for one here, here. The center is already going to the center. We'll do the same for the bottom. These points in there. Let's go for a connection line, that's fine. Alright, we'll confirm these connection lines and then, oops, oh, there we go. And then we're going to modify them. So I want this connection line to be running in to a similar point on the top portion there. So I don't want it to be going to the corner, I want it to be going about a quarter of the way in. I can actually do along, be specific, 25%. Oops, something, I think I might have hit too many buttons there. Okay, I'm going to have to redefine that, unfortunately. Curve list to sketch. Let's add in those connection lines again. Then modify them along 25%. There we go. This one along 25%. Same for the bottom. You can see it changing the shape now. Okay, and this is correcting the shape. I'm kind of liking the look of this now. Okay, you can always add in more lines to get a different shape or the optimal shape for you, but I'm happy with that. I'm going to confirm. And let's do a boolean add to this shape up here. So that's not bad. We see they're blending together now, and they're completely blended at this point, and we should be able to get a clean sweep from there onto here. So let's see how it works with the curve list here. I'm still deliberating on whether I actually want to maybe it will just be easier if I redefine last and keep the profiles. Okay, then I can just do my drive curve loft at the sketch and we'll see what the tangencies look like. So let's first of all, let's try the first method I wanted to do. I'll blank out this sketch. I'm going to insert a curve list on here. Now actually the curve list, well, let's see how this works out. We may have to change the curve list define. We're going to do a drive curve loft of this curve list. Oh, I have to pick the driving curves first, my mistake. The curve list, okay, it's fine actually. To the sketch and to this sketch. Now we have a blending here, and that seems fine. We can change our blending to maybe smooth. That makes the transition a bit better. And we don't need end caps. Don't need to keep the curves. Confirm. Okay, so it's all a bit messy, I guess, because we've got so many edges in the curve list, and the blending isn't that smooth anyway. So I'm going to undo the curve list, undo the blank, and we'll just come back to the original method of just doing sketch to sketch. This will get a tidier loft, and we may still be able to get a nice transition. So I think I like the smooth. It's actually quite alright. We can modify the influence. Let me just modify the bottom so that we have symmetry. Well, oops, we got something flipped in there. Make sure we're picking them at the same points. Modify influence of this top one. Let's see what we can do. We can get that blending to be smoother. It's actually not bad at all. Just got to remember that what I do to one side, I have to do to the others to keep the symmetry. Well, I'm not going to fuss over that. Let's confirm. And we have the shape here. Okay, I didn't want that to add. Let me redefine. Okay, I wanted the boolean as a base because then it allows me to do the mirror. Okay, so I don't want to sew. No sew. Confirm. Okay, so yeah, I'm not overly happy with that blending situation down there. But it's not horrendous. I know how I can correct this, and I know what I should have done. In the loft, I need to modify my magnitudes. Let me edit the loft. Because at the moment, that is going to be intersecting the ring finger. I need to bump that out a bit. And we can do that in the loft operation itself. The continuity, the weight, let's increase this. Okay, you can see we can modify it greatly or a small amount. And it needs to be more circular like that. And this will help the blend down there as well. Let's go for that. There we go. That's improved it. Okay, so now we're just finishing touches. We're going to mirror this shape to the opposite side, and at the same time as mirroring it, we're going to do a boolean add to the bottom half of the shank. And since we don't have end caps, it's going to be nice and clean. So we have a single shape now. Save. You need to do some component mirrors. Mirror components. Pick the datum. Pick the feature. Okay, I'm going to have to pick it component by component. You don't want all of them, just these four. And again, now across the front datum plane, and it's just going to be these ones. Confirm. Okay, so that is basically done. Now let's just tidy it up a bit. What I like to do is blank out all of the shapes, all of the center stone, mealy stones. Let me just erase now all of the curves, curve lists. There's no sketches. I'll confirm. I'm going to unblank all. Okay, we can add this together now if we want to. We've got many different parts here. Let's blank out the sketch, the shank. Let's see if we can add all of these together. It might not be very smooth. I'm going to save before I attempt it, in case we get a crash. I'm going to pick just one part, and then window pick the rest as the operator. Okay, it doesn't matter in which manner we pick these. It's a combine add, so it's going to add them all together regardless. We have a fail. Okay, it's not essential that we do this. Okay, there are other software applications that will make this easy for us, but let's just give it a go. It's probably going to require a little bit at a time. We'll try this portion first. That's failing. Probably because we have some intersections here. Let's try doing a combine add. Yeah, because we have these constant faces, I would have thought. Let's combine add these. Yes, that is the issue. Maybe the trim was not appropriate there. Well, let's get to the bottom of this. I think the best scenario here is to delete those trims that we had. So let's come back in the history. Find where they were. It was after the sweeps, fill gaps. It was this trim here. Okay, let's suppress that trim. I'm not going to delete it just in case we want it back. And then we'll play until the next trim. And we'll suppress that. And replay the history. Blank out this shape. Unblank the under bezel or the undercarriage there. Let's try again. Combine, add. Well, it worked, but we've got some funny behavior. Let's do it in stages again. We'll try these 2 or 4. Okay, so it's not liking something there. Let's combine these 2. Then combine these 2. Then combine them both. Yeah, it's got some issue between those prongs. So that is what it is. Let's combine add. See what we can get away with. Sometimes it just requires it in stages. There we go, we got it. Okay, with quite a few combines there, maybe unnecessary, but we'll blank them out. Now let's combine. Let's see if we can get all of these. Maybe the previous prongs were the culprit. Nope, we've got issues here as well. Well, this may not be pretty. This may not be useful tasks to be doing. There is software that we can use to automate our booleans and makes it very easy for us, but we've started, so we'll continue. Oh dear, so the booleans can be very finicky, as you can see. So we'll just do it into batches. Let's see if the inside ones will work. Oh dear. Okay, so we'll combine it little by little. probably best to just combine a bunch that have mirror symmetry and then do a mirror. Should be simpler. It usually rests on just a few culprit shapes that are just have a few, maybe a coincident face or something, and it causes the rest to fail. So it's a bit annoying when you have to find that specific one that's causing issues, and oftentimes it just requires doing it bit by bit, just really helping the software along here. Okay, so it's failing here for some reason. Something to do with this last one. Let's see if we can get it now. Well, we did, so that's peculiar. Well, we got one more there. Okay, it's not so nice having all of these combines in the history. Many there. We can add a history folder for that. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Well, I was really not happy with these. I haven't seen combining be quite so difficult before. Oops. Blimey, this is a mess. Wow. Just using the middle mouse button here to quickly bring back up the combine again and again. Oh dear, so this is really not happy at all. Seems to be these bottom ones that are causing all of the issues. So that is, yeah, it seems to be these ones that are not combining at all, and well, maybe it's something to do with these. Look, I forgot to add a fillet to the bottom of them, but c'est la vie. I have a feeling the issue is being caused by coincident faces on the bottom here. Something going on at the bottom here. So all you need to do, if something fails to combine, just move it very slightly. Let's just tweak it up. Let's see if this works. 0.02, so really insignificant distance, not even noticeable. Let's see if it allows us to combine. And it does. So you can see how frustrating that would be. It's just such a small distance that we're moving it. So now let's try all of our parts together. Okay, Well, it took some time, but we're there now. Look at all that. That's a bit much. So if you want to create a history folder for all of that, just right click, history folder, left click on where you want it to start, hold down shift, left click on where you want it to end, middle click, you got history folder. Boolean. Okay, so that keeps it tidy. Let's bring back our sandstone, mealy stones. We can update the color. Preset yellow gold that I like. And that is done. Let's hide our datum planes. And we save. Okay, so that is the cocktail ring. Some useful strategies there that can be applied to many areas of designing. And I hope you enjoyed it.